Whoa! What the hell? Oh. Properly. Babylon, what are you gonna do? Because this maybe Babylon is protecting. Oh my. Valkyria! Regardless. Oh my. What the hell? I see. So this is your third anomaly? Third is dealing with this seems like a little bit too much. I guess what she's saying is that it isn't easy. More than one. Babylon gently avoided Claudia's question and formed a faint smile. We were already on the outer edge of the forest, so we knew we'd encounter the walking corpses at any moment. Most would have assumed that Babylon didn't want to talk because this wasn't the situation for her, but I knew the truth was different. She probably just didn't want to talk about what kinds of anomalies she's faced. Claudia was questioning me and Beatrice as well, but we weren't giving her any answers either. Depraved woman! Basically, the anomalies that Mercurius had told us to take care of were all the kind that made us feel like he was indirectly mocking us. It was as though he was saying, this is how stupid you are, so we really didn't want to talk about it. We were all sure the one at Katyn was probably the same in that regard. Well, too bad. I don't know if he's being considerate is more like I feel like it's more that he doesn't want to talk about it. I wanted to correct her misconception, but talking was an effing hassle, so I just placidly waved my hand. Or placidly. Knowing that you're dense is interesting. But I don't think she's as dense as she... Wait, what? Beatrice, who was ahead of us, suddenly turned around. Enjoy them. If you say so. Overwhelmed by Beatrice's barrage of words, Claudia didn't know how to respond. I was more or less used to the bitch arguing against Claudia's thought process, but she seemed to be getting more and more desperate as time passed. I wanted to make a comment, but decided against it since I actually agreed with her point. Deadly situations were both fun and exciting. The very best festivals were always the most dangerous ones. Anyone who thoroughly denied the sensation was lying. If you ask me, they were a bunch of freaks. Oh, okay. Yeah, you're definitely the king of freaks right now, bro. I really want to see what's going down in this forest, man. They're really taking their time doing this. She shook her head in an uncontrollable manner. Beatrice was the most mobile of us all, so we had her go in front of us. Well, from what I'm told, after this forest scene, I'm not even able to play this game anymore, so I guess I should enjoy it while I can. Well, that would suck. Babylon nodded and pointed to the sky. A full moon hung high above us, lighting up the night. It went without saying that it was a celestial body closely linked to the arcane. Is this a trap? However, all I got from her was an implicative smile. That was one of her bad habits. She wasn't alone in that though. Malaeus, Kristoff, and most of all Mercurius were just like her. Effing eggheads had a tendency to put on airs of intelligence. They were too prudent and valued knowledge so much that they got all stingy about it. It made them want to wait for the right moment to share their wisdom, just so it'd have a stronger effect. What an annoying bunch. Holy crap. They themselves would whine about it non-stop if someone did it to them. Don't they think that's dumb?
Bey, 何を考えているのかは大体わかるし同感ですが、あなたが言うことじゃありませんよ。
Wow, she just read you like a book, homie.
顔に書いてるんですよ。ねえ、クラウディア？はい、それはもうありえない。
Wow! I guess it's in his Inui, according to Mercurius.
とにかく今はただ待つこと。単に月齢だけの問題なら待てばいい話だけど、もう一つの条件は運も相応に絡んでくる。
I'm not liking where this is going. I'm really not liking where this is going. I feel like she's talking down to you right now. I don't know if that's just me. I reluctantly nodded. It pissed me off that she treated me like a that right there, that. But she was the type of woman that was hard to talk back to, not to mention she was above me on the chain of command at the moment. Well, at least there isn't sun outside, or you'd be completely useless. What? Dude. Oh man, she's calling you out now. Beatrice. I couldn't use formation while carrying Claudia, and the Knight of Bloodstained Roses wasn't even an option. It affected everyone in the area of effect, enemy or not. Not like I was kind enough to be considerate of Babylon and Beatrice, but I didn't want Claudia to be caught up in it. She'd probably be drained in just a couple of seconds. It wasn't the right time for that to happen yet. Finally, is something about to happen? We continued walking deeper into the forest. Soon enough, the fog grew thick and the smell of death filled the air. On the way, we saw a whole bunch of holes dug in the ground. They were empty, but they were obviously used to contain corpses before something got them out. All our faces turned stiff. The atmosphere here made it evident that this was indeed a forest of the dead. and it was clear that the ground beneath us was still full of undiscovered remains. Normal people wouldn't tread on the ground even for a dare. You could almost feel the remnants of the victims' resentment and hear the echoes of their regretful wails.
ここだろ。
ええ、間違いないわね。
Alrighty. Deep in the forest, we found an unnatural opening with a hill in it. We didn't see any moving corpses yet, but I couldn't be more certain that I was looking at the place of the massacre.
なるほど、これマンじゃ効かねえ。ずいぶん派手にやりやがった。
10,000? Over 10,000 dead?
というより、まるで流れ作業ね。ここまで来たら。
Why are you smiling? This is not okay!
確かに違いねえ。
Being reapers of human souls, we had a nose for this kind of thing, so we could more or less tell what had happened here. The air, abnormally thick with death, told us all we needed to know. They formed lines of troops and then methodically and systematically, and perhaps even with integrity, gunned down the people one by one like a row of dominoes. That's shameful, dude. That's disgusting. Like, there's so many... Babylon was right. It was more like a slaughter than a massacre. Hell, considering the purpose, it was safe to call it a disposal. Bringing the POWs over to their country was too much of a bother, so they decided to just dump them. I could almost feel that sentiment here, and I wasn't too far off the mark either. Really, I had no words for what I saw. Man, what a waste of good resources.
まあそういう意味じゃ、うちらの収容所も大概だがな。熱がねえ殺しなんざつまんね
えや。逆に言うと、人間らしい感情を絡めたまま。ここまで殺すことはできないのかもね。仕事だから命令だから、その一言で麻痺する人種は大勢見てきた。彼らは普段優秀と言われる人格者とさえされるものが多いのよ。
Excellent men of character, you
え。
say.
お前やザミエルみたいにか、人事みたいに言うんじゃねえよ。てめえらだって血まみれだろう。俺は自分のために。自分が殺したいから殺す。言い訳はしねえし、逃げもしねえ。
Yo, you love talking about your gay lover.
いい加減にしてください。クラウディアの前ですの。
Unable to bear it, Beatrice joined the exchange like she always does.
殺人の意味や定義についてそれぞれ見解はあるでしょうし、私も自分がやってきたことをごまかすつもりはありませんが、せめて民間人の前じゃカッコくらいつけましょう。それが欺瞞でも偽善的でも、軍人ならばそうするべきです。なぜなら我々は国と民を守るためにいるんですから。
If you say so. Naturally, I couldn't even begin to relate to that. We're on such different wavelengths that I even found it stupid to talk back.
なんでもいいが、それよりお前は気づいてるか。
何をです？
She squinted with a suspicious look in her eyes as I looked around the area.
ばらつきがある。血の匂いが一定じゃねえ。
Huh?
それは。
I had to tell her, but she noticed it too. It wasn't like she was weak on this front. We just had different fortes. Nonetheless, falling behind me at something was probably humiliating for her.
つまりどういうことですか？
別にこれといって大したことでもねえよ。ただここで死んだのはかわいそうなポーランドじゃねえみたいだぜ。カーチンの虐殺は 4,5 年近く前のことだし、実際それくらい古い地臭が大半だ。けど他に新しいのもあるんだよ。
A fresher? Somebody's died recently?
それはつまりカインの犠牲者ということですか？確か最初にリサさんもそんなようなことを言っていた気が。
にしても少し数が多すぎます。 こんな不吉で気味が悪い森の中心
Yeah, why would they do
わ
that?
ざ周辺の住民が退去してやってくるわけがない。ベイほど正確には測れませんが、多分100は超えてますよ。
100って
What?
しかもこりゃ仇じゃねえな。戦闘の後が。
Wow, the ability to sense that.
いや、新しい中でも微妙にズレがあるから3個か4個の正体か。バカが戦力の蓄字投入をしやがったな。
This man is sharp when it comes
最
to
初に偵
death,
察隊を
man.
送り込んだが全滅して、次にそこそこの規模を送り込んだがまた全滅。それでいよいよマジになったが、これまた全滅。そんなとこだろ。アホ丸出しだぜ。
How? I chuckled and looked at Babylon.
これどういうことだ。俺らの他にも組織だってカチンに来てる連中がいんのかよ。
そうね。クラウディアの手前、黙っておいた方がいいと思ったから言わなかったんだけど。
Hmm? She heaved a
東方正
sigh.
教会とそれからバチカン、そこの部隊が何度か投入されたみたい。教会って何ですかそれは。
The fact that Claudia, a member of the church, was surprised by this was both stupid and only natural. Organizations never showed their true faces to their adherents, especially not ones as simple as that idiot.
あなたも看護団の一員として軍事に関わっていたでしょ。どんな組織でも維持していくには綺麗事だけじゃ済まされない面があります。だから力が必要になるのはわかりますね。
政治力、経済力、そして武力。武力。ええ、権力とはそういうものね。まして教会はある意味で世界最強の組織でしょう。信徒の数、歴史の深さ、共に並じゃないからね。と
つまり簡単に言うとだな。てめえが愛する神の家は教義に都合の悪い連中をぶちのめす殺し屋どもを飼ってるってことなんだよ。何もおかしな話じゃねえだろ。俺はよく知らねえが、これまで十字軍だ異端審問だとさんざっぱらやってきたらしいじゃねえか。それは今でも続いてんのさ。そもそもお前自身も言ってただろうが。
ベイ、だからあなたは。
まあ驚いたでしょうけど、そういうことよ。カチンの怪異が死者の蘇りというのはいびつだけど、それでもキリストの特権を犯しているから第一級の異端よね。その割にはベイも言う通り甘い見積もりだったみたいだけど、そこら辺はやっぱり。
Yeah, underestimated is putting it lightly if they lost over 100 people.
最後で最強の神父は私たちなのかどうか。
Will we even be able to stop this though? Right, it didn't matter at all. Even if the dogs of the church were involved in the matter, they couldn't do crap to get in our way, as proven by their total annihilation. Well, that was all in the past, so all we'd done here was teach dumb little Claudia how the world actually worked.
やっぱり傷つきましたか。だったらごめんなさい。別に私はあなたや信徒の方々を蔑みたいわけじゃなく。
いえ、気になさらないでください。確かにびっくりしましたけど、皆さんのおっしゃる通りだと思いますし。
Really?
教会の実態がどうであろうと、それで祈りが曇るわけではないと私は。
Suddenly, Claudia cut her words short and looked up.
なんだどうし。
いえ、ただ雨が。
What?
本当だ。
Wait, what? Before I realized that the moon above was shrouded in thick clouds that released light rain over us, and it didn't take long for it to become a deluge?
ちょっとこれは大変です。
参りましたね。私たちはいいとしても、こんなところで振られたらクラウディアが風邪をひく。ベイ、彼女をどこか雨宿りのできるところに。
Oh, you gotta be kidding me,
ど
dude.
うしいな。いきなりバシャバシャ振りやがって。
Oh! Whoa! My complaint was followed by thunder that made Claudia cower. Ignoring her completely, Babylon looked up. What the hell? Wait, what? And whispered those words. Then she raised her
二人
voice.
とも即時臨戦態勢を取りなさい。
それは
つまり
ええ、地中の何かに雨を通じて死者の無念が届くんでしょう。怪異が起きるのは満月期。
Oh boy.
こんな雨の夜、
I suddenly felt the ground beneath me jump up as though pushed from below. At the same time, one of the nearby trees was struck by lightning. Oh my gosh. It was ripped apart and uprooted, causing it to fall on the softened ground and making it crumble. Claudia was caught up and swept away by the resulting wave of dirt. Claudia! I talked crap about her for being dull again, but I didn't even consider helping her. I knew that going after her was a smart thing to do in this situation, but I just wasn't feeling it. Why, you ask? Remember how I told you that fusion types couldn't think straight when we went too wild? Exactly. It was strong enough to make us awaken the sorcery, embrace our lust for battle, and become aware of our craving. Oh no. Oh no. The dark gift that flowed within me, my kiss in the dark, the devilish rose told me to drain all life until only corpses remained. Shut up, Helga.
ふざけやいんばい。てめえも所詮俺の餌だ。
I'll do you till you're in pieces, so give me all your blood. Let's give it a good shape. Oh boy, here we go. Following that demented shriek of a laugh, my fangs and thorns of blood were made manifest. Myriad stakes sprouted from my skin like fleshy vines. This was me, number 4 of the Obsidian Round Table, Widowhelm Edinburgh, Kaziklu Bey, the one who merged with the blood of Vlad Tepes, the only true vampire in the world. Of course, I didn't enter this state just for show. The anomaly was happening right before us, and that was more than enough reason for me to transform. Oh my goodness. Also, I wasn't the only one on the scene with something plant-like going on. Numerous hands were popping out of the ground all muddy because of the downpour. As you can imagine, the site looked somewhat like a flower field. It covered the whole area as far as the eye could see. The sight was grotesque, and though it's in bad taste, it wouldn't have been wrong to state that the hands were in bloom. Of course, the flowers didn't stop growing there. Okay, this is disgusting. After the hands came the arms, shoulders, heads, torsos, and it wasn't long until we had the full walking corpses. Half of their bodies were nothing but bone, and all the holes on them were leaking filthy liquids and spilling maggot. This is disgusting! Yo, fix this situation. And they were so generic that I felt bad for them. They were all undead here, but compared to them, we Knights of Lord Hadrich's Reach were in a whole nother realm. The idea that this was our original fate was downright effing insulting. I would grind them all into dust, make them wither and let the world behold their remains, waste them and end their journey forever. That's it, Will. With that roar as my signal, I kicked the mud below my feet and danced my way into the anomaly, punching and pulverizing the head of the first corpse before me. I felt basically no resistance. It was like breaking a dead, rotten tree, and I instantly realized that there was nothing I could take from them. No soul or blood, there was nothing I could drain, and that pissed me the F off. You might be thinking, duh, of course. Corpses wouldn't have any life in them, but I wasn't in a state of mind to accept such logic. My urge for violence was basically screaming that they weren't worthy opponents. Because of that, obviously, I wasn't the one who analyzed the situation properly. What the hell? A blue bolt of lightning grazed my side and reduced several dozen corpses into scrape. Anyone with common sense could tell that this wasn't your usual rage of the storm.
なるほど。単体の脅威度はさほどのものじゃありませんね。動きは遅く、思考もしない。
Valkyria.
力は強いのかもしれませんが、この程度だ。
You're finally showing your real colors, your power. She paused her words and spun her body into a backward roundhouse kick. Despite her slender frame, it created a whirlwind that blew away all the undead that were caught up in it.
まず我々が遅れを取ることなどありえない。不満ですか、ベイ？
ああ、こんなカスどれだけ潰そうが単なる魂の無駄遣いだ。
そうですね。でも素の格闘でどうにかできるほど甘いわけじゃないですよ。あなた流に言えば数ほどの何かを持っている相手じゃないのは確かですが、それでも全くの殻かというとそうではない。死者を操る神秘の力が働いているのは確かです。だからこちらも同種の断りを持って砕かねば彼らは八つ咲きにしても止まらないでしょう。
Oh, that's disturbing. She wasn't wrong about that, though it wasn't dense enough for us to convert into fuel. An anomaly like this had to be run by some sort of magic technique. An eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth, and an arcane for an arcane. Common sense, really. These corpses wouldn't die no matter how many normal attacks you landed on them. You could reduce them to singular teeth or nails, and even then they'd crawl at you like maggots before regaining their forms further down the line. So what do we do? Sure, a bomb enough to reduce them to ash would probably do the trick, but sadly we didn't have any with us. To us, this was a battle of attrition where we couldn't gain anything. We were in a rainy forest with a horde of undead as far as the eye could see. Though they all seemed limitless at first glance, the info we had told us there were nearly 20,000 of what? The fact that we couldn't stock up actually made it a pretty difficult situation, all things considered. My best option was to limit my energy consumption, but
なんだこのめんどくせえ状況は。手加減なんざできる勝負じゃねえんだよ。
Babylon, what are you gonna do? 'Cause we just, oh my goodness. Get him, Will, get him. I roared and shattered all the corpses gathering around me. Of course, they were as frail as before, but the numbers meant that they were best destroyed with appropriately large-scale magic. And like I said, holding back for that was pretty much impossible for me. I just wasn't the type. In terms of both temperament and fighting style, Wilhelm Edinburgh is a simple man, you see. Just light him up and he explodes. Well, I guess maybe Babylon is protecting, oh my, is maybe protecting Claudia?
だからあなたはそれでいいですよ。もともとできるとも思いませんし、ここでは派手にやるのが正解です。
なんだそれ。
As she launched lightning as powerful as my attacks, Beatrice looked at me with cool eyes devoid of her usual stupidity and matter-of-factly explained the situation.
彼らが聖あるものを襲うのはそれを奪いたいからです。血を、命を、魂を持っていないから取り込みたい。動機は少々違っても要はあなたの同類ですよ。だから群がってくるんです。あなたも私も今は一人の人間が持ち得ない量の命を持っている。彼らからすればとても魅力的なかがり火のように見えるでしょう。
I didn't even think of it that way.
ゆえに
Therefore, Valkyria! Her lightning-clad blade sparked as he swung it at will, reducing the undead to carbon and dispersing the remnants of magic within them.
ここで我々が引きつければ、それだけクラウディアの安全度が上がります。
Huh? I didn't even understand what she was talking about. In fact, I'd forgotten all about the woman until she mentioned her. Apparently, this idiot wanted to act as a decoy so that Claudia wouldn't get attacked. It took me about 5 or 6 seconds to catch on.
文句でも?
Of course I effing did. Beatrice's suggestion had nothing to do with actually taking care of anything. They were empty, so they targeted us, who were full of souls. Sure, if we went all out and spent our fuel to keep the flame of life, so to speak, burning bright, Claudia would go unnoticed by them. What about it, though? What would we do afterward? We'd still be wasting souls, so the situation would be crap. F. It'd get even worse. Especially since she's the one with the lowest soul reserves among us.
自殺志願者かよ、この間抜けが。
ですか？しかしならば何です？私は生き方を変えられないし、変える気もない。それはあなたも同様に。
Yo, I really like Valkyria's abilities, man. Beatrice has got some lightning to her, man. She launched another lightning bolt, not holding back at all. It shattered the undead, vaporized the rain, and filled the air with static.
よってどの道こうするしかないでしょう。あなたは加減ができないし、私はする気がない。なのに文句を言うとは怖いんですか？こんな程度の危機を前に死神がちらついてしまうとでも？それがあなたの器ですか？ヴィルヘルム・エーレンブルグ中尉殿。
Yo, she's challenging you right now. Though it sounded like she wasn't actually provoking me. The reason Lieutenant Beatrice Irae was called Valkyria was exactly because she was an honest idiot. It was to the point of making me want to kill her, actually.
そう信じていて、たとえ自ら水銀に染まっても人であることを忘れないと誓っているから。
I actually like that part of her. She was one of those women I wanted to drain completely dry. That moment never actually came, but whatever. There's many ways to interpret that sentence, but okay.
なめんじゃねえよ。てめえごときとは格が違う。
ならば、それを見せてください。
おい。
I'd rather just see Valkyria do stuff. From then on, I started giving him my all. Sure, I didn't go beyond formation, but besides that limit, I didn't hold back whatsoever. I wasn't the type to do it, and Beatrice didn't intend to either. She wasn't wrong that it would have come to this regardless. Oh my! Damn, dude! Countless lightning bolts and stakes tore apart the forest as we almost competitively exterminated the corpses swarming over us like the maggots infesting them. Needless to say, I wasn't counting. There's a reason I used the word countless. A 2 versus 10,000 battle was far too hectic to care about the progress you were making. If I had to name one thing that was on my mind at the time, it'd be Machina. The guy had also faced thousands of enemies all by himself. Not only that, but they weren't anything like the ragdolls I was up against. They were Inferia, all champions of the battlefield. He fought them all and ended up coming out on top. I couldn't help but respect his valor, but that was exactly why I didn't want to lose to him in that regard. Basically, you know, effing this up wasn't even an option. Uh-oh. Nani? Obviously, I was fired up something fierce, but all that heat ended up going nowhere. What the hell? Huh? Why? Because our leader ended up taking all the spotlight? I've never seen this before. Beatrice and I were so focused on what we had before us that we forgot the one most suited for handling this anomaly and what her power was. She was given the order by Lord Hadrich himself for F's sake. The result was set in stone before we even got here.
これで楽になったでしょ。あとは残敵を掃討しなさい。
The army of corpses still stretched as far as the eye could see, but about half of them were completely stopped moving. They looked like some freakish trees. In a way, the scene was even more disturbing than before.
指揮権を奪ったんですか？
まあそういうことね。少し時間がかかる。
What?
これでもう多勢に無勢というわけじゃない。
Number 11 of the Obsidian Round Table, Lisa Brenner, a lover and manipulator of corpses. In terms of magic, she was a necromancer, putting her in the exact same vein as the anomaly we are staring down. Well, I knew that was her ability, but I've never seen this costume before. To her, corpses were both tools and weapons, so in this case, it was all a matter of influence and making it clear who was the top dog.
一度に動かせる数では負けるけど、支配の強さはこちらの方が上みたいね。早々に終わらせて、それを供養ということにしましょう。
Oh my goodness! Suddenly, Babylon's army of the dead turned around in perfect unison and attacked the opposing army. With all these allied forces on our side, we were no longer at a disadvantage. After all, it wasn't like Babylon picked the corpses at random. She obviously prioritized the ones closest to us, effectively creating an orderly unit and making it clear which side of ours was ours and which wasn't. The chances of Beatrice and I accidentally attacking our own were negligible. Though battle formations primarily existed to increase the speed at which orders were relayed, they also helped avoid harming your own. Additionally, if I observed them properly, I could tell them apart by the type of arcane arts that animated them. This allowed me to go wild without worrying about wasting my souls.
愛しい人よ、私はあなたに口づけをしました。そう、口づけをしたのです。とても苦い味がするものなの。これは血の味。
What is happening?
もしかして恋の味ではないかしら。
Babylon's Anunnurbe, Pelita Moors, had a pretty effing grim history. It was basically a corpse shroud and a death mask. Some assholes with a taste for sarcasm may even call it a holy cloth, like the Shroud of Turin, but that couldn't be less fitting. The damn thing was made out of the skin of human— Yo, that's disgusting. Not only that, but Babylon herself was the one who made it. Most of us, I, Beatrice, and even Lord Hadrich himself got our Anunnurbe from the Duchess's Anunnurbe, a Nazi think tank for occult crap. However, the Obsidian also had members that had created or rather nurtured their own weapons. They spent the war killing so much that their dear little toys gathered enough karma and misery to enter the realm of the paranormal. Machina, Samuel, Schreibers, and Babylon's Reddick were all among those ranks. Though it was true, they didn't have much of a history to them, that didn't mean they were weak. Like I said before, even in a world of magic, newer things were almost always stronger. The fact that they were created in such a short time meant that they had great density. It had tons of child-killing women all throughout history, but those that matched Lisa's numbers were pretty effing rare. Apparently she did it with love and affection for— yeah, okay. Bitch definitely had a few screws loose, I tell ya. It didn't and still doesn't really matter to me though. Can't say I ever gave a crap about our backstory, but there's one thing I can say for certain. A woman's love can be a really effing crappy curse. I know that from experience, and I doubt anyone would argue. She wore the skin of her beloved children as a dress. Oh, what? That dress is it? While controlling a horde, of course, it made her look like some sort of dark saint. The corrupted whore of Babylon, the sinful Holy Mother Mary. She was the embodiment of the Third Reich's madness. As far as I knew, she could gain greater power over the dead by changing her outer Irae into a mask and putting it on the corpse. But she was focused on the numbers here. The garment of undeath decorated Lisa Brenner like a stage actor. I felt like I was watching an opera of death. The magic pulsing through the Earth's veins caught Katyn's anomaly like a fly in a web. It was as though she was caressing its head, embracing it, and saying, there, good boy, listen to me. She was summoning the memories of their mother and the peace of the cradle. It was a lethal poison to all men, and not even the emptiest of corpses could escape it. Then again, their emptiness might have been exactly why they couldn't resist. Fastidious little Beatrice clearly looked uncomfortable, but she wasn't dumb enough to complain about all the reinforcements we got. Her superior, Samuel, got along with Babylon like cats and dogs, so she probably figured that this wasn't a good time to act as her proxy. With that in mind, it was clear what we had to do next.
さっさと終わらせますよ。
ああ、偉そうに言うんじゃねえよ。
誰が？ありえませんね。見てなさい。
To finally take care of the situation before us, we just had to go all in.